Hello, I'm Thalath, and we're going to be going over some basic strategies for the super popular, in my opinion, and in some people's opinion too. If you found the video, that no doubt you agree that this is a great game and popular. Uh, Star Realms deck building card game. So we're going to start off by just going through the basic core set of cards, and I'm going to try my best to once a week go through and explain the strategies behind each individual core set. And then we'll get into more advanced sets like Cosmic and Frontiers, some of the new hero sets, and we'll just go through, see what we can do with developing some of the unusual strategies that have gotten me farther in the game while covering some of the more common strategies just to get you started. We're going to be talking about some of the strategies that, although they are for the basic set, the set that you got for free when you first downloaded this game, they the principles behind those strategies carry on even into the more advanced sets and the deeper sets. All right, here we go. A game using the base set, only the core set, and we're playing against Tinker Bacon. Tinker Bacon. Level 28, decent player. See how things go. Okay, so he got 3 here, 3 trade. I would pick up the Ram if I was him, or possibly the Imperial Frigate with the hope of getting this battle cruiser. Now, the reason that I would pick up the Ram in the first turn is, let's just take a look at it. See that? It gives 3 additional trade for a sacrifice, and it does 5 damage. So basically, any base that I could pick up in the early game, it will be able to destroy, and that can be pretty critical. You see this base here has, it's an outpost, and it has 4 defense. Now, you would have to take out that 4 defense in order to do any damage to my actual health points. So I don't have that option. I don't have anything pretty great in the trade row. Imperial Frigate's not a bad idea, but I'm going to go through and pick up this missile bot so I can begin scrapping early in the game, and we'll see what happens. This is a very basic and conventional strategy, but I did leave him open to being able to pick up that Imperial Frigate, because in all likelihood, he's got a hand right now that only has 3. Well, he's got 4 trade. So he's going to pick up that Imperial Frigate. That's a good move. I'm going for a just pure luck. Let's see what we can do with these explorers. In the early game, picking up a bunch of explorers is not such a bad move. A lot of very experienced and very good players will do it, knowing that they can scrap it from their play line actually for 2 damage at any point. All right, so now see, we have 7. He's gonna make us subtract 1. Okay, so we must discard a card. So we still have 6 trade, and we're gonna pick up that battle cruiser. Now there's 2 reasons for picking up the battle cruiser. One, it's just a great card. It's what we call a free card because it lets you draw a card, but it does, significant amount of damage, but also he is now being slowed down in his collection of Star Empire ships, which force discards. And forced discards are pretty powerful in this game. I'm going to go through and scrap at least 1 Explorer, just because I can repurchase it at any point with my excess trade and it do some early damage in the early game. Okay. So if I were him, I might have actually picked up the Mech World. The Mech World will allow you to activate all of your ally functions no matter what it is. Going through and picking up something that can give you a little bit of extra health, defense. Okay, we're just going to scrap a scout. Oop, running out of time here. Going to probably make a few silly decisions because we're just running out of time. Sorry about that. But picking up something that has both the ability to do damage and the ability to increase life. Yeah, I hate that about this game. If you're trying to view a card and you are mid-play and they play a card, it will stop you from viewing the card. So now we have the ability to scrap something in the trade row, and we need to slow him down. So if we look, he's got both the Ram and the trading post. He's kind of all over the place in this defensive center. Let's see, does he have a possibility of getting 7? He does. He could get 7 trade. So we're going to get rid of this central office and maybe stop him in his tracks. We didn't get anything useful out of it, and there's nothing else to purchase in the trade row. So we're going to scrap that Explorer and pick up another Explorer. It's as if we never scrapped the Explorer to begin with. Now we have R5. We're going to want to pick up the Battle Mech. We'll see if he sacrifices the Ram to do the same thing. No, okay, so he's going base heavy. He picked up a Junkyard. He already has 2 bases. What that allows him to do is prevent early damage, but, and hopefully we'll see this, you know, right now the health ratio isn't all that great, but in the later game, you can kind of get a card cascade that it doesn't really matter how many bases he has initially in play. If I were to be able to draw all of my most powerful cards in the same turn, those bases would be destroyed and he'd be down a whole lot of points. But we're still going to try to stand in the way of him acquiring more bases. Now we have a difficult choice to make. We could pick up this Mech World and slow him down, but we already have a card that forces the opponent to discard a card, but only if it's matched with another yellow Star Empire ship. So it's a little bit of a risky move, but we're having fun here. I'm going to go through and pick that up. Alright, so we forced him to discard 2 cards. That can be pretty painful. Say we could have only destroyed one of these. I would destroy the Junkyard because he is going to have to discard a card. And if he has to discard a card that he doesn't find to be useful, he could go through and use the Junkyard's ability to scrap that card. So you always have to be thinking about what opportunity you're giving your opponent in the very immediate next turn. Yeah, he didn't have too much to go with there. Our health is pretty low, but hopefully we can bring it back and get a little bit more. Maybe we'll pick up one of these Federation cards as well. All the Federation cards have, well, not all of them, but the Federation cards primarily are all about gaining additional life points or additional health. So right now we have a total of 7 undesirable or weak cards in the later game. He has 6 right here, and in his discard pile he has an additional 4. So he's looking at 10 undesirable cards, but he is leading with health. Now, I'm pretty satisfied with what I have right now, so I'm actually going to scrap Scouts and leave my Vipers. Vipers give you a late game points advantage over the Scouts because we're not, in the late game, we're not trying to pick up additional ships. So we don't need that additional trade. I would have loved to have picked up another, let me see if I can find it here, Imperial Frigate, but I really don't want him to have the opportunity to take that from me. He's probably going to continue to go with Blobs, but you see he's got this Imperial Frigate, and it doesn't need anything to cause your opponent to discard a card. And discarding a card is extremely detrimental. That's one thing that you want to avoid, is your opponent getting 4 or 5 cards that allow you to discard a card. We're going to continue to scrap Scouts. We are in a scrapping game right now. We want to scrap as much as possible as quickly as possible. So we're going to get rid of the option for another base, and that base had the ability to force a discard as well. See, this Mech World is going through and counting for all of our allies, which is why we got this extra boost here. Oh, well, can't see it, but that forced him to discard a card. We're going to pick up this battle station. The only reason we're picking up this battle station is to be able to sacrifice it to do additional 5 damage. If it gets stuck in play, it gets stuck in play, but that's not what we're looking for because he's only got 16 health left. And he's still working with a lot of trash cards, where we are working with, I believe it, yep, a total of 4 trash cards. Still anyone's game at this point. So he picked up that Imperial Fighter. Let's go take a look at that real quick if we can get the time right. He got that Imperial Fighter. Notice what it does? Target opponent discards a card. He's really hoping for that. We don't have anything substantial that would do any damage here, but we're going to stop him from using that defense center. I might have, and this would be kind of an outside strategy at this point, but being that we're so close in health, I might have actually scrapped my Imperial Frigate to be able to draw a card. I don't know if you can read that but that's what its scrap ability is. He just used it. So he scrapped that to be able to draw a card. He's really afraid of only having 16 health here. He's going to force me to discard 2 cards. And I just got lucky that both of the cards that I'm discarding are scouts. That way I don't really have to think about it. So I'll go through and I will scrap one of the scouts. I'll go through and draw an additional card. I'll play this. I'm not really too worried about it, but I'm going to get rid of that Blob Destroyer. They're very, very useful in the later game. We've got our 17, so we could beat him if only we could get rid of this junkyard. Well, sacrificing this allows us to destroy a base. So we're going to scrap that to destroy his base. It'll let us draw a card. And the polite thing to do is just to kill him. Some people will actually play everything out all the way, even though you could defeat your opponent. And I just find it distasteful, and so do a lot of the other higher ranking players. If you're doing that in tournaments, you're slowing the tournament down for everybody who's playing, and it's just adding insult to injury. Sometimes if I'm up against somebody who has a tendency to do that, Tichu Queen is somebody who does that quite a bit. Tichu Queen's a great player. You know, I might do that back to them just as kind of a little bit of a jab. But in this game, one of the great benefits is there is no table talk. There is no way to chat. It keeps the game fairly civil. So that's one of the ways that people sort of chat. You know, they say, hey, screw you, buddy. I'm going to draw my turns out incredibly long. Now, I do feel kind of bad because I can't chat. I can't let people know that right now I'm trying to teach some basic strategy. So they might be seeing me take these extremely long turns and either think I'm simple, or they're sitting here thinking I'm intentionally trying to draw out the game, which hopefully anybody who knows Thalath knows that that's not what I'm trying to do. So, Trask Zero has been doing really great recently. Trask Zero will kill you the second that he can.